Hello, everybody. Welcome to Team Stream. I'm James Lang. I'm here, as always, with Thad Casey and Mike Mady, and we're going to be playing some remote Gloomhaven tonight. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Great, boys.
Good.
How you doing?
Every day's the
Not
same.
bad.
Doing all right. Living it up in the basement down here. Doing the quarantine thing. We are going to be playing Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion tonight, gang, which is a recent purchase of mine, and a game that I'm very passionate about in its original form, the original Gloomhaven and then Frosthaven. This is a slimmed down version of it, and we're going to be doing kind of a rules teach as well as play the first scenario. Mike and Thad have never played any Gloomhaven, so all their failures are my fault tonight. So any issues they have, that's on me. So we're going to do a spoiler-free. I'm not going to read any of the kind of flavor text of the missions or anything like that. We're going to focus on kind of just like playing through the scenario, getting through the actual mechanics of playing some Gloomhaven remotely, and then talk about, the way I have it set up, which is maybe a little bit different to make it easier to play remotely, and then talk about how that, might impact future features of Vorpal board. Right at the top, before we get started, one thing I wanted to throw out is we are going to be taking part in Gen Con Online, which is coming up at the end of July. It's July 30th through August 2nd, so that's a Thursday through a Sunday, and we're going to be having a bunch of events. We're going to be playing this with people. You can sign up for rounds of Gloomhaven. You can sign up for our Unmatched tournament. We're having a 16-player Unmatched tournament. Restoration Games is giving away a new copy of Cobble and Fog, which is the new Unmatched game, for the winner, which is very exciting. So you have a 1 in 16 chance, and if you're good at Unmatched, you probably have a better chance than that. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, go to Gen Con Online. We're going to have 2 seminars going, one of which is going to be specific to how to play games using Vorpal board, kind of an overview of the whole tool, and then how we set up games on here. And I'm going to use this as an example. So I'm going to sort of show the behind-the-scenes look of scanning in the cards, all the stuff that I do before we start playing. And then another seminar that we're going to be doing in partnership with Fabled42, who is a D&D Twitch streamer, who if you haven't checked out, you should check him out. They are going to be running a how to run D&D on Vorpal board. And Chris Solo, the DM, the main DM for the Fabled42 channel, who does all their terrain and stuff, he'll sort of show a behind-the-scenes view of how he sets up to run D&D on Vorpal. If you don't know Fabled42, you should check them out. We host them on this channel a lot, so if you follow us, you probably have seen them from time to time. But they have a whole slate of stuff they're going to be running during Gen Con as well, using Vorpal board. So if you're into watching D&D on Twitch, check them out. And I think that's it. Did I get everything, guys?
Yep, nailed it.
Covered it.
Got it all. Got it all. Okay. This is it, guys. This is Gloomhaven. I know I talk about it all the time, and I finally got you into a game of it.
Yeah. About time.
About time.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't get you into regular Gloomhaven because I can't have you messing up my world, man. The world changes. So I haven't started a full campaign yet. I've just been learning the characters a little bit to decide who I want to play in Jaws of the Lion. There are 4 characters that come out of the box in this game. We're going to be playing 3 of them tonight. The 4th is called the Red Guard, and I played him last night, and he's cool. I haven't looked at his late game cards or anything, but he was fun. And this scenario, so something that's very neat, I feel like, about Jaws of the Lion is this game has been built to onboard people. So scenario 1 has cards in it. So these cards, like these are the 6 cards that I'm going to play with over here. Mike has his down in the corner, Thad has his. There are blue boxes on them. Those blue boxes are like tutorial text on the cards. So the first time you play the game, in scenario 1, you're using a set of cards that you actually just like throw away after you play scenario 1. And when you play scenario 1, there's actually effects for certain of these cards that change once they introduce them to you. So scenario 2, it adds a little bit more of the rule set. And scenario 3, it adds a little bit more of the rule set, and then you're ready to go, which I think is a very clever way to let people slow walk into playing this game and not get inundated right out of the gate, because there is lots of stuff to set up. There's lots of little bits and symbols and stuff. So what's crazy is, like, if I look at my character over here, I'm playing a Void Warden. This black boon card, next scenario, they might add some stuff to it. And the black boon card I use next scenario would have a couple more different little weirdnesses to it, etc. Right? So so this first session is kind of like your first foray into Gloomhaven. It's a pretty quick scenario, as long as we don't totally screw it up, guys. No pressure. And what we're going to do tonight is kind of like go over the rules, see how good it is to use Vorpal to like teach a game for the first time, and then just play it through and see how it goes. So what you see in front of you is a video stream. I have a cell phone mounted to my left, and the game is right there, the physical game. And I've done some stuff to make things a little bit easier to play online, mainly putting these little dice out. These standees have numbers on them. And when I hover on them, you might be able to see, like, this one's numbered 1, right? And this one's numbered 2. The ones that are a little bit further away are harder to read. So when I play this online, I usually just put dice out to tell people which standee is which. And then even when I'm playing 100% local, I keep track of health for enemies with dice. I think it's crazy to do it with the little pieces, the little piles of pieces. So I've always I bought a little box of 30 dice or something for $8, and that improved my life significantly. So, all right. Here's how it goes, guys. Gameplay is on a grid, or on a hex grid here. We each have our own characters. We have starting positions for them. All of us have 6 cards to start with. In the real game, you're going to have different quantities of cards depending on class. Your character mat has all sorts of information about your particular character. So I'm going to zoom in on Mike's character mat. In the top right corner, it tells you what your max hand size is. That, when we play a normal game, like post the tutorial, that's how many cards you would have in your hand. So Mike, you would start with 9. Dad would start with 10. I would start with however many I have over here. Let's see. 11. And then for these starter sessions, everybody just starts with 6. Also on your character mat is your health, how much health you start with per level. The crown indicates level. The health little blood icon there is how much health you start with. And then that's also where you keep track of your conditions, which are tracked with little tokens. One thing you'll note about the character mats is they have, along the borders, icons of where you put cards. So as we're playing, you're going to be discarding cards. You just pile those up to the left of your character mat. When you lose cards, which means they're out of the session, they go to the right of your character mat. And if you happen to end up with any active character or cards, they go above your character mat, so we might have to move some stuff around. I don't know if any of these characters get active cards. We'll have to see. The structure of the game is fairly straightforward. We're going to take turns, and the enemies are going to take turns, but they happen pretty much at the same time. There's an initiative system to determine what order will happen every single round. So each of us has to choose 2 cards per round that we're going to play. Based on those 2 cards, that will dictate where in the order we go on that particular turn. If you look at your cards, every card, the first thing to look at is right dead center is a number. 23, 68, 89, they're 0 to 100 essentially. That is the initiative number for that card. When you choose your 2 cards, you get to choose one of those 2 numbers as your selected initiative for this round. You want to have the lowest possible number if you want to go early, and if you go with a high number, you're going to go late. It depends on what you want to do. Sometimes you want to have the enemies come to you, so you choose to go late, and you hope that they don't do a lot of damage to you. Sometimes you want to go right out of the gate. So choosing your cards is going to depend a lot on that number, which means you got to be careful about when you choose different cards together. You don't want to, blow all your early initiative cards right out of the gate, because then later in the next couple turns, you won't be able to go early again. Does that make sense? Oh, Mike's on mute. You went mute, Mike.
So the enemy actions have initiative too?
They do. And so scenario 1, they dumb that down a little bit, where all the enemies, we're playing with one enemy type. It's just a Vermling Raider. It's a very basic enemy. They're always going to act at 50. For this game, they always act at 50, which makes it kind of easy because you know when they're going to act. Where things get interesting is in the regular game, they flip over a card too, and it's random. And certain characters, certain enemies, you know, they're slow as hell, so they always go late. And you just kind of learn that, like, oh, stone golems are slow, so they go super late. But there are some enemies where they have, like, one crazy powerful attack that they'll go real early. So, like, a lot of times as a group, we'll sort of, like, make a plan and be like, well, hopefully they don't attack us early, you know, we'll just see, right? And then everything goes to shit, essentially, because you flip over a card and it's their powerful attack, which is a cool kind of thing that happens. And then everybody needs to, like, scramble to figure out how they're going to make it work. So in this scenario, these guys are always going to go initiative 50. So just know that in the back of your mind. When you select your 2 cards for your turn, that happens at the beginning of the turn, everybody does it, and you can talk, this is where the rules, like house rules, come into effect. You can talk generally about what you're trying to do, but it's explicit in the rules that you're not saying, okay, I'm going to go at 27, Thad, you go at 29, Mike, you go at 36, to avoid kind of like over engineering kind of the game. So the way that I generally play is my wife and I will say, like, I'm going to go, we've kind of learned, like, early is first half, like below 50, and late is post 50, you know? So I'll say, like, I'm going to go early and I'm going to go after that elite Vermling. And she'll say, I'm going to go super late and I'm going to try to heal you, you know? And, like, that's kind of the level of communication that we do. But again, that's kind of a house rule. You just play it how you feel. So first thing you do is you're going to select 2 cards. You commit which 2 cards you're going to use. And you also, in your mind, remember which card is the one you're going to use for initiative. The rule book says you should stack them on top of each other, so you're actually kind of committing and you don't, like, cheat and change it. But come on, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to cheat in a co-op game. The other thing about the 2 cards that you select is when you select the 2 cards, you're going to be able to use actions off those 2 cards, but you have to use the top of one card and the bottom of another card.
Ooh, okay.
So you don't get to do everything that's on that card. You get to do the top on one and the bottom on the other. Now, you don't, when you select the 2 of them, have to choose which is going to be your top and which is going to be your bottom. You might have a plan in your mind. This is what I want to do. I want to move 3 and then attack 4. But you can always switch them when it becomes your turn. You could use the top of, you know, you could use the top on this one instead or whatever. The cool thing about that is sometimes the wheels come off. The enemy does something you are not anticipating, or your teammate does something you are not anticipating, and they rush in, and you're like, oh shit, I was going to go to that square. Now my turn is boned. But you always have a little bit of flexibility where you can try to make it work by switching which one you're going to use the top and the bottom on. And when you look at your cards, you'll see that generally the top actions are usually attack actions. Heals can be up there and stuff, but usually they're attacks. The bottom actions are generally move actions. So you're usually combining a move with an attack. But there are, every character class has, you know, variation here, which is the strength of the game. And things like a bottom attack can be really powerful, because then you can do an attack with your top and another attack with your bottom. So you can end up, you know, pushing out a ton of damage in a given turn. And that's where the variation in the classes is very interesting. Scenario 1, you're not allowed to do this. But just so you guys know, when you look at a card, on the left-hand side in the middle of the card, there's a 2 with a sword and a 2 with a foot. And what that means is that you can always, instead of using what's on your top, just use a base 2 attack. You can always just say, instead of using this top, I'm doing a 2 attack. And on the bottom, you can always say, I'm going to do a move 2. So let's say you just have some weird cards that you don't like the way they are. The top can always be an attack 2. The bottom can always be a move 2. This scenario, they don't let you do that. So we're not going to do it. But that's what that little icon means. All right, so let's talk attacking. There are 2 different types of attacks. There's range attacks and there's melee attacks. Holy shit. Who would have thought that those were the 2 types of attacks that are in the game? As you would expect, melee attacks, you have to be next to the character. Ranged attacks will tell you the range. So it'll say attack 2, range 2. And 2 is the distance that you need to be able to be within to perform that ranged attack. You have to have line of sight. Line of sight rules are very simple. You have to draw a line from any point on the hex to any point on your opponent's hex. And if you can draw that line without hitting a wall, which are these lines on the outside of the board, you can see them. You can see through enemies, you can see through obstacles. It's very simple. If you can draw a line from any point on your hex to any point on their hex, you can attack them, as long as you're within range.
These obstacles outlined in green, in theory, I could shoot to this guy.
Absolutely, yep.
As long as I had a line that could go to the outside.
You cannot move over them unless you are flying, which none of us are right now. So you would have to move around them if you wanted to go get them. All these green outline things represent obstacles, but you can target across them. And they can target across to you. They've streamlined the line of sight stuff, I think, in this version versus base, and I feel like it's more clear, which is good. So that's ranged attacking. And then if you are directly next to a guy, you want to range attack him, you attack with what's called disadvantage. So just know that if you're going to try to range attack a guy, you don't want to be right next to him, or it's going to be a disadvantage. And I'll talk about disadvantage in a second. Successful Geek, how's it going? Yeah, glad you're here. This is you'll see, this is a good game for Vorpal, in my opinion. You can do all the scanning and you don't have to do any scanning during the game. It plays really well. So thanks for hanging out. Okay. So the way the attacks work is there's going to be a number on any of your cards. I'll use this one right here for Thad's, right? He's got this double throw. He can attack 2, it's a range 3, and it's target 2, which means when he uses this attack, he's going to get to do 2 separate attacks. That's what the target 2 means. He's going to attack 2 different enemies if he can. If he can only attack 1, that's fine too. He doesn't have to target 2. He's going to attack each of those enemies with a power of 2, and when you attack with a power of 2, you start with a base attack value, and then we would flip 1 attack modifier card off the top of his deck. Everybody has the same attack modifier cards to start the game. It's 20 cards. There's a mix of +1s, -1s, -2, +2, 2x, and miss. And this is where the randomization comes in. There's no dice in this game. The randomization is you draw off the top of this deck. What's cool is as you level up, you modify this deck. So you level up and you get a perk that says like add extra +1s or remove some -2s. So over time you can make that deck more effective for how you're building your character and make it more likely that you're going to hit people or not miss or whatever. In this case, I would have pulled a 2x. So Thad's attack would have changed from a 2 to a 4, and he would have done 4 damage to the guy. And that's it.
So you take a modifier every single time you do an attack, is that right?
Every attack, and it's to every enemy. So if he had targeted 2 people, he would have drawn 2 cards, 1 for each. Yep. And then when they attack, they're going to do the exact same thing. Now, I was talking to you guys before we started. In this scenario, these guys are just dumb. All they ever do is they move 1 and attack 2. That's all they ever do, okay? So you can game that a little bit, especially if you already know how to play Gloomhaven. I've rolled through this scenario a few times, and it's quick if you know how, because you can essentially just move around these guys and really mess them up. But for this scenario, they're going to move 1, attack 2, and then they have, right up here, their own attack modifier deck, just like us. So the same thing can happen. Sometimes you'll have these unbelievable moments where you're like, oh, I'm going to die, and then they roll a miss. Or, oh, the only way we're going to win this scenario is if we pull a 2x. That, you can actually, canonically by the rules, or technically by the rules, you can remove the 2x and the miss if you don't want so much variation. That is allowed according to Isaac. I like the variation. I think, whatever, it's a co-op game. It's more about the story that you're playing than necessarily worrying about winning or losing. So I like the 2x's and the misses. So that's the attacking. And then, let me think. What have I not discussed yet?
Disadvantage? So do you pull 2 cards and take the worst?
Yep. Disadvantage, you pull 2 cards and take the worst of the 2. And then advantage, which you can get by certain effects. I don't know if anybody has a strengthen. Mike, I think you might have a strengthen.
Yeah, I do.
When you are strengthened, you get advantage attacks, and what that is you pull 2 cards and you take the better of the 2 cards. And then anytime you hit a 2x or a miss, you'll see there's a little logo here for a reshuffle. At the end of your turn, you reshuffle, and you wait until the end of your turn, because what you don't want to have happen is get 2 2x's or 2 misses on the same turn if you're targeting multiple enemies. So you always wait till the end of your turn, and then you shuffle.
some of the cards have dual actions on them.
Yeah,
Go
so let's
top
see.
to bottom.
You always go top to bottom, and if it's littler text, it's part of the bigger text action. If it's two actions that have big text, they count as two different actions. So the only other thing I really haven't talked about is like effects, things like strengthen, immobilize, poison, disarm, all those sort of weird things. My recommendation is we start, and when you guys run into like, oh, my card has like an immobilize, what does that do? Essentially, when you apply an effect to a guy, there's a little token jar we pull out of, and he will keep that effect on him until the end of his next turn. So if you, for example, immobilize an enemy, on his next turn, he can't move. If you disarm him, he can't attack. If you poison him, that stays with him until he gets healed. Each one of them has their own kind of little thing. The reference cards are down here, but I think in this scenario, there's only 2 or 3 that we're actually going to need to know about. So when you see them on your cards, I can just answer the question.
Do we know what the enemy health is ahead of time?
We do. So this, the way Gloomhaven works is they ship these little enemy cards here, which show you the silver side is the white-based enemies. The gold side, or what's called, I don't know, called elites maybe? I'm embarrassed that I don't know exactly what they're called. That's the gold-based enemies. We only have 1 elite in this session. The top number next to the blood, you'll notice that like they use the same icons everywhere. Blood is health. So the top number next to the blood, the gold guy has 10 health. The silver one has 5 health. So each of the white ones have 5 health. And then they're just going to move 1 space, and they're going to attack 2. Hey, Dave, how's it going, man? Good to see you.
What's up, Dave?
And then this little die crap here is how it keeps track of health. So you'll see a number. There's a number 1 right here. So these 2 die, which is 10, are the health for number 1, which is this guy. And then number 2, which is this guy right here, he has 5 health. Number 3... wherever number 3 is, up there, he has 5 health. So we count down the health right here.
Okay.
And so at all times, you're able to see how much health all the enemies have. This is why this right here, in a full session of Gloomhaven where you have like 5 or 6 different enemies, is like a, in my opinion, kind of a maintenance nightmare. This is why Gloomhaven Helper, the app, exists. App. Yeah. This is why. So you don't, like, when you play with Gloomhaven Helper, you don't even have to take out these cards. It's all just running on the app, which,
cool.
I get it, is kind of like, putting a knife in you if you're like a board gamer, and I resisted it so hard. For the longest time, I was like, no, I'm going to play it the right way. And then we got it, and I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. It made a huge difference, and I don't think it really weakened anything at all. I find it totally fine. It just saves in the setup and put down time. And I think that's it. We can buzz through it. Oh no. Hold on.
It's not a stream without a drop.
Yeah.
52 card pickup.
Just dropped your entire modifier deck on the ground.
Okay, now it's shuffled.
Jeez. And what we won't talk about today, because I don't necessarily want to do any sort of spoil stuff, is there's an entire, but just for anybody who doesn't know anything about Gloomhaven who might be watching this, there's an entire kind of meta game that exists where, I'll just hold up the board here. This board comes with Gloomhaven, this map, and as you're playing, there are stickers that you're putting on this map that indicate like scenarios you can go to. So when we finish like scenario 1, the only one that has a sticker right now is the one we're playing, which is called Roadside Ambush. And I put that on there. When you're done, you actually like put a little X through it, and it'll open up another scenario. So by the end of the game, you've kind of seen all the scenarios you've completed, and you also know all the like locations on the map. For regular Gloomhaven, it's like a huge board, and there's like 100 stickers or something. For Jaws of the Lion, there's like 30 or something. It's just everything has been kind of like compressed with this version, which I think is cool. So yeah, the metagame's neat, but we're not going to talk at all about story or anything today. Maybe we'll do that in the future if we ever decide to play more of this.
So James, what are we trying to do? Just kill all these bad guys?
So in this scenario, our only goal is kill all enemies. Scenarios can have different goals. Sometimes they're like, keep this character alive. Sometimes it's destroy the altar, or you know, do this little puzzle where you have to step on pressure plates or whatever. This one, it's kill everybody. That's it. That's all we got to worry about. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about is resting. So every time you choose your 2 cards, when you're done with that turn, you discard them. You put them next to your character mat, and they're done. The next round, you're only choosing from 4 cards. The next round, you're only choosing from your final 2 cards. Then at that point, you're out of cards, and you have 2 options. You can long rest and short rest. For this scenario, the only option is short rest. And what a short rest does is you get your cards back, but you randomly lose one of them. It will go into your lost pile. And losing a card, it's out of the game. It's done for the game. So this is a timer. You should think about it that way, is that there's only so many rounds you can play in this game because you lose your cards. There are characters that have the ability to bring back lost cards, but it's very rare, and it's usually like a power they can do one time. So when I started thinking about this game, at first I kind of played it like a normal dungeon crawler where like, oh, I can just sort of walk around and we can fight some guys and then heal each other. But like, you have to be moving. It's almost like a puzzle where it's like, okay, we got to think and be efficient with moving and killing because we're on a clock, essentially. And that clock is losing your cards. So in this scenario, you just do short rests. The concept of long rests is how you can get a little bit of health back, but we're not going to long rest during scenario 1. It's only short rests. Dave, yeah, this is Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which is the buy it in Target streamlined version of Gloomhaven that just came out last month, a couple weeks ago, something like that. So it's not Frosthaven, which is the next big box version. This is a, I would say, much more approachable version of it. All right. So you guys are ready to rock, right? You're kings.
I think so, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, let's do it. Make it up as we go, like every other board game we play.
Yeah, we'll be totally fine. I have not looked at the cards for the Void Warden, so I'm gonna be going in just as blind as far as my character abilities are concerned. Okay. All right. So first round, we get to choose what we want to do, so everybody can kind of like look at their cards and decide their opening move.
So one question: why you've played this a lot? Why have you chosen not to have these in like your hand?
Oh, just like on Vorpal, like not seen.
Yeah.
More or less just because like sometimes people ask me what the cards are. You know, I just don't look at what people are up to, essentially.
Okay.
You know, essentially we all talk about what we're gonna do, right? And say, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then we say, okay, when's everybody going? Once you play it a bunch of times, like that phase becomes like quick. You could add them all in your hand, right? Like so none of us could see the other cards, but to me it doesn't matter really.
Okay.
Cool. And on the board, usually like all this stuff is like splayed out all over the board, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so early turn, I think we should obviously try to kill this guy. He only has 5 health, so we should be able to take him down pretty easy. Which means, we'll try to be in position to take down these other guys as they kind of move towards us. But worry about your health, because you only have so much health, and they're going to be attacking you with attack 2s. You don't get a defense. They just hit you for 2. So there later on is the ability to get items and get armor and all sorts of stuff. But when you start the game, you have nothing. And so if they attack you with that 2, it's just going to hit you for 2 after they flip their modifier card. Oh, Dave.
Number one guy's like the boss, is that right?
Yeah, he's the beefy boy. Although his attack is exactly the same. So the only difference for him is that he has 10 health. He's just
10 health.
He's real. He's the thick boy. Dave, the 6 next to that guy is just his identifier. So which enemy he is. He's enemy number 6. So I can so the guys can keep track. This little indicator over here is for 6, and he has 5 health. Usually, if you were playing this in person, you actually can see there's like a little 6 on him, but sometimes people have issues seeing that when we're playing remotely, so I just put these dice out here so people can tell. All right, so I'm gonna go. Wow, I do not have a lot of moves. Holy smokes. I'm a weird character. I like that.
Do we generally want to stay in the same kind of region, or does it depend? And can we strat? Just gonna run around.
Yeah, go wherever you feel, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so it's funny, when Dre and I played originally, I played like a big beefy man, a brute, and she played this little mind thief. But I had boots that made me run really fast. I could like go a lot of distance. So we always had these big arguments where I'd be like halfway across the board, and I'd be like, you can only move 2 every turn. It's going to take you 4 turns to get here. You know, we would always just be so furious at each other. But yeah.
Can you choose whether you do the move or the attack first?
Yes, you can do them in any order you want. Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to go pretty early, and I'm going to... Interesting. And I'm going to attack... I'm going to attack one of the further back guys. So I'm going to go pretty early, and I'm going to attack one of the further back guys. Dave, people, we don't look gloomy. Get some smiles going.
Early.
Yeah, it's been a long day in Vorpal board.
Yeah, everybody's working their butts off.
A lot of meetings. A lot of meetings today amongst the group.
Work. A lot of work.
Okay, you ready?
All right,
what are you doing?
I'm going early.
Early. All right. How about you, Mike?
Still figuring it out.
Yeah, it's fine, man. Take your time. This is your first hand of Gloomhaven ever.
I know, this is the most important one ever, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
There's some interesting combinations in here, so I'm trying to figure out if I can.
So what's cool, what I feel like is where things get really interesting with this game is, like, as you level up, you actually can start swapping in different cards, and when you level up, you get to choose from a couple different cards. So trying to figure out little weird synergies between pairs of cards on your character is, to me, kind of the coolest part of the game, which is kind of like a little mini deck builder in that regard. And trying to make like a character that's very versatile to handle a lot of strange situations versus like really focused on like a couple of key combinations. I like that about the game. I'm not that great at doing it, to be perfectly honest with you. I read a lot of guides of people who are smarter than me who have figured it out. But I kind of take their input and then design my own characters that way. The music I chose for tonight just has this breathing noise. It is awful. I'm gonna. It's like
not me.
No, it's definitely not you. It's like a. I think I chose like a troll, some sort of troll hunt, or I don't know, something. I'm gonna try to change it. Anybody who's listening, it's called Sleeping Ogre. There, I'm getting.
What?
I'm getting, and it's actually like, I'm not kidding. It was like an ogre like snoring in the background. So that was a bad choice. Sorry, guys. All right, Mike, you ready?
I think so. So I'm gonna do an early one and a late one.
Dave. All right, I'll stop trolling you, Dave. Come on, Dave. You gotta bring the better puns. You gotta hear something about ogre.
Wah, wah.
Do something with the ogre. Okay, cool. So at this point, now that we've like selected our cards, what normally would happen is we would flip over the enemy's deck to find out when they are going. But you know, we don't do that in this round. In Jaws of the Lion, they supplied, you can see I scanned them in, these little tiny rectangles. They supplied these little tiny pieces that are meant to just sort of, you sit them in order of the initiative order. So like at this stage, you'd put them out on the table like, oh, Thad goes first, then James, then Mike, then the enemies, to sort of remember. I've never needed to remember that. I mean, maybe it's because I only play with 2 players usually, but maybe when you get up into 4, you forget what order everyone's going in. But for our purposes, I don't think we need to worry about it. I'm going at 23. What's everybody else going at?
An 18.
19.
All right, so Thad goes first. All right, Thad, what are you up to?
All right, so I'm gonna use my move 5 first.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna get. I take it you can't move through a tile occupied by an enemy, right?
That is correct. You can move
What
through tiles occupied by friends, but you can't stop on them.
2, 3, 4. I'm gonna sit right next to this guy.
Whoa.
Yeah, right here. 5.
Sweet. All right, then what?
Then I have to wait because the next one's 51, right?
Oh no, you that just
You do them all.
Yeah, you do them both. So the initiative
all right,
You
selection.
get the better of the 2 initially.
Okay, so
Yes.
I wouldn't have moved there. Okay,
Okay.
I was planning on having to wait. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cool.
And then I get to use my Disorienting Barrage, which is an attack 1, and I get to hit up to 3 enemies within 3 hexes.
Hell yeah.
So
All right.
I'm going
and
after
you, and
these
you
guys.
model them. Okay, cool. So you can hit all 3. You can hit 3 guys, right? Which ones are you going to target?
Well, I can. They have to be within 3 hexes
Of you.
of me.
Yep.
So these 2.
Well, you can get this
And
guy.
Number
too.
1. Oh, I didn't think I could send them.
Damn.
Yeah, you could hit. You could do this guy too if you wanted, right? You could do. You can get all these guys.
Well, 3 of them, right?
3 of them. Yeah, but they're all in range. Yeah.
So that the 3 enemies don't all have to be clustered together.
Nope. There are attacks that are area of effect, and they'll show a little like icon of like how they need to be clustered. But this one you can just target 3 guys all within range 3.
So even though it says target with a little dot of 3,
Yep.
I assume that was the area effect.
Oh no,
Okay.
that just means like that's just the target icon. So yeah, you can target 3 anywhere as long as they're all within range 3.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna take out everybody.
All right. So which ones?
1, 2, and 4.
1, 2, and 4. All right. So let's do attack 1 first. So you're the hatchet. Let's see what you got. The 1 turns into a 0. Wah, wah, wah. But you did muddle him, right?
I did muddle him.
All right. So what a muddle does, since now we can talk about it, is it just makes it so they're going to attack with disadvantage this turn.
Cool.
All right. So the next guy was 2, right?
Yep.
All right. You're attacking 2, so it just becomes 1 damage. So he's down to 4, and then you're attacking 4. Ho! Although it just becomes a 2.
It's okay.
It's better than nothing.
I'll take 2.
Better than nothing. All right, so it's down to 3. All right, cool. And then they're all muddled. You muddled all those guys, which is cool. Disorienting barrage. Okay, cool. All right, so Mike, you were next, man.
Yep. So I got a move 4. We'll go 1. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's attack 3 with a muddle.
Okay, cool. We're muddling. We were confusing the hell out of these guys. We're just
Yeah.
running in. We're like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Dave, it's good to see you too, man. I'm sorry that that you had a bad night last night, but you can watch us fumble our way through some Gloomhaven. All right, so you're attacking 3 on number 6, right?
Right.
Okay, let's see. Puke. All right, so you did 1 damage to number 6. But he's
At least
muddled
he
as
is.
well.
At least he's muddled. He's gonna swing and miss, hopefully.
Yeah, okay. So there's only 1 -2 in your deck. So now, Mike, for the rest of your deck until a shuffle, you won't run into a -2. Thad, your deck
cool.
gets shuffled because you went 2x.
Try not to dump them on the floor this time.
So,
That's how he shuffles.
I just throw everything on the ground and I pick it up. I'm like a dog. I get a lot of grief for my shuffling technique that I end up putting the same things back on top, but I have had people watch how I shuffle, and I swear I'm not an idiot. I know how to shuffle cards, right? So we'll see. If we get that 2x again...
yeah, it's pulled up twice already, so...
Oh, no, it's just once, right? Oh, before we started. Yeah.
Yeah, the demo.
That's right. That's exactly right. Okay, so Mike, you're done. And then I'm going at 23. I'm doing a move 3. Oh, man. I was doing a move 3 muddle range 3. So everybody's muddled already. Oh, man, why did we all choose muddles?
Muddlers.
Yeah, Dave said, I thought I'd get to see digital deck tech tonight. Dave, we are so close, brother. So close. Don't worry. It's coming. Soon. Okay.
You guys want to put a date? Do you want to put a date out there?
No.
Yep.
Okay.
Some date after today.
After
Yes.
post today. Okay. So I'm going to move 3, and I muddle range 3, but I can't muddle anyone because everyone's already muddled. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and I'm going to stop right here. I'm not going to use my full 3. And then I'm going to, because I don't want to be next to this fool. And then I'm going to attack 3, range 3, and I'm going to do the attack on this guy right here. So let's see how I do. Man, what a bad draw. Okay, so I did 2 damage to number 6. All right, so he's down to 2. Okay, so then now we're done with our particular turn. So you can just take your cards and kind of throw them next to your player mat, and we'll pull them back out once we rest. And now they go. And the way that they go is they go in numerical order, with elites going first, no matter what number they are. So elite dog number 1 is going to go, and he's going to move 1 towards Thad, and he is going to immediately attack Thad with a 2. So he does 3 damage to Thad right out of the gate. The cackle of us getting obliterated immediately. Okay. Okay. So that's that guy's, and then we're just gonna do an order, right? So there's a whole rule of targeting and how they focus on you and stuff that I'm not gonna go into depth today. I just know how the enemies focus on people, so I'll move them appropriate. But like, there's a way that they determine if they should move to you or not. And so this guy is just gonna move 1 to here. This guy is gonna move to here. This guy is gonna move at Mike and attack him.
Oh snap! No.
So Mike, you're gonna get attacked twice in this instance. So hopefully you don't get crushed.
Do they get
cool,
advantage
dog.
with the flanking? Oh, wait a minute. You were supposed
he was
to
muddled.
do
He was muddled.
disadvantage.
He was muddled. Yeah. So let's see.
Yeah. What's up?
All right, Thad. So he actually hit you only for
2.
for
Or
1.
1.
Yeah, that was a big swing. So he only hit you for 1. So that's good. You're back up to 7 health. And he is no longer muddled. All right, so number 4 is attacking you, Mike. And
Number 4 has disadvantage.
He also has disadvantage. So let's see how he does. All right, so he hit you for 2. Sorry. So you're down to 6 health. And then number...
Not a 6.
Does the companion app cover movement and that whole crazy logic?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. So that is, of all the things in the game, that's the thing that's like probably the thing I look in the rulebook the most. Is just
Yeah,
like,
Imperial
okay.
Assault is the same way. It's the most complicated thing of playing the enemy if you don't have someone playing the enemy.
Yeah, it's like essentially there's all sorts of rules. Like if they can get to a hex in theory with unlimited movement, then they'll target you. If they can't get to a hex with unlimited movement to attack you, they won't even take an action. You know, that sort of stuff. So you kind of just have to know the branching tree of their options. And yeah, I'd say that's the one thing. If people probably the world over who've played Gloomhaven complain about, it's got to be the monster movement. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5 is just going to start heading in this direction towards us. And then number 6 is attacking Mike as well. And I believe 6 is at a disadvantage. Mike, did you freeze? You there? Holy moly, you were
Stoic.
just stuck. That was
Dave,
good.
this is an intense game, dude. I'm trying to understand what's happening.
Okay, so the 6 is coming at you, Mike. He's attacking you. Number 6 he's muddled as well, so maybe you'll get lucky.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
All right, so -1.
Bigger.
So he just hit you for 1. So not so bad in the grand scheme of things. All right, so all these guys are no longer muddled. We went full on with our muddling, and all the muddles are gone. Okay, and so our cards go in our discard pile, and then we do the next round. We just decide what 2 cards we're going to use. All right, guys, let's kill a couple of these guys. I thought we were. I laugh. I was like, oh, we don't have to worry about this guy. I'm sure we'll kill him. And then we all just like ran right past him and then missed him, which is. He lived. He lived. Interesting. Okay, I like that. This character class is extremely interesting. I can give you guys attacks.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can like help. I can say, oh, an ally within range X is able to do an attack.
Commander Strike. There's a lot of D&D crossover in this game, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Isaac used experience playing D&D to inform a lot of the different character classes and skills and stuff. Okay, let's see.
James, when it says range on there, you have to do range. Is that right?
Yes.
Or is there an option?
Yep.
Okay.
When it's range, you got to do range. Yep.
Okay, got it.
I'm actually not in a great... Oh, jeez. I did not plan this out well, gang.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
What does stun do?
So a stun, they lose their entire turn. They can do nothing. So very powerful. Probably the most powerful effect. And so if you have it, you can use it on like big boys so they don't get to attack you. All right, I'm going pretty late. And I'm going to... Oh, man. Mike, what's your health at? 5? All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a support class, really, which is interesting. Okay. I'm gonna go. All right. Okay. Then. All right. I'm gonna go kind of late-ish, and I'm going to give an attack to one of you guys. So we'll see how that works out. That might fail terribly. I don't know.
I'm going early after Big Baddie.
Okay.
I'm going early after some dudes.
All right, sounds good. Okay, I'm going at 68.
25.
Ooh, 20 and 25. All right, so Mike, you're first.
All right. So I move to 1, 2.
Okay.
Well, yeah, 1, 2. And I destroy an obstacle.
Okay.
I'm going to destroy this adjacent obstacle right here.
Cool. And the obstacle actually counts as like the whole border around it. So you destroy the entire obstacle, both pieces.
Oh, that's not
Whoa, I didn't know that. I done made a mistake.
Bloosh! Kablooey!
Oh, God, okay.
We're the only people that have ever lost in the opening.
No, we're gonna be
Crossing
all right.
the
We're
line.
gonna be okay, guys. Okay, so you destroyed that. Now, does that give you anything?
So it strengthens me. If I do that, it strengthens me.
Okay.
All attacks until end of next turn, I guess. So that's cool.
Yeah, all attacks until you get a full turn. So your attack this
Yep.
turn and your attack next turn would be strengthened.
Okay, and then I get to do a ranged attack on 2 different enemies.
Ooh.
Of 2, and so that's with advantage.
Sweet.
I don't. So in terms of distance, is this guy 2 away or no?
This guy?
1, 2. Or is
He's
that 3?
he's 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So I'll just have to do on the 1. How does that work when I have advantage and I'm
They just cancel each
at
other out.
disadvantage?
So
Got it.
yeah, you just be
So
a
I'll do
normal.
this guy and then the Big Daddy.
Okay. So which you want to do first?
Let's do the Big Daddy first.
All right. So you'll be
Actually,
in. What?
can Mike
What's that?
hit this guy with the ranged?
No,
No, it's only 2.
it's 2. He's up here.
1,
1, 2,
2.
3.
Oh, it's a 2 range.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
You said that.
Yeah.
Okay,
2.
so you're going after Big Daddy with advantage. All right. +0 and +1. Hell yeah. All right, so what was it? An attack 2, Mike?
Yeah, 2. So
it's a 3.
It's 3 off him. Right?
Sweet. Yep. All right, so he's down to 7. Cool. All right, so you're strengthened for next round as well. And it is Thad's turn, I believe.
I still attack this guy too.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're attacking him with no advantage or disadvantage, right?
Yeah, it cancels out. So just whatever the modifier is.
Blammo.
So that's a 3.
That's a 3. So number 4 is dead.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
All right. The first kill of the night goes to Mike. Now, in the normal
What?
game, when a guy dies, $1 shows up there, a little coin. And the more coins you gather during the session, you can buy gear and all sorts of stuff. But as I've told you, like, we're all on a clock here, right? So there's this angst about, should I waste my turn going over to pick up the little treasures, or should I use my turn to heal my friends and attack the enemies, right? So if you end your movement on a coin, you get it automatically without having to use an action. But there's an action called loot 1, or loot, which will loot stuff around you. And so some character classes are built around doing a lot of looting. In regular Gloomhaven, there was a character class called Rogue that did a lot of looting. I don't know if there's any characters that are built that way in this game. But for the initial scenario, we don't do money. So that's why we won't do money. All right, Thad, you're up.
Okay. So I'm going to... Did I F this up? No, I didn't. Okay. So I get to add +1 to my attack to all attacks this turn.
Okay.
And I'm going to do an attack 3, so that'll be an attack
Oh, cool.
4.
So that's your bottom action. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll
So
do
it's
that against the big baddie number
All right.
1 again.
So it's an attack 4 going at the elite.
Yep.
Oh, a straight miss. A miss, baby.
That's awful.
That hurts
Okay.
because that was a good that was a big 4. Ay.
Wow. That's bad.
Okay. All right, we're gonna be all right, guys. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Maybe I should go grab a cold beverage.
All right, so I'm shuffling your modifier deck. All right, so
That's
I'm
good.
going post the Vermling Beasts. So they get to go now. And unfortunately, I am within range of this fool. I did not realize that I was going to have to deal with that. So, all right, well, let's start with number 1. Number 1 is attacking Thad with a 2. All right, Thad, he hit you for 3.
Yeesh.
So you're down to 4 health. Okay. All right, so number 2 is just going to keep trying to move around here. Oh, no, he can actually move. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Sorry, dog.
I already did the math, trust me.
Oh, that's funny because like Mike just runs in there and blows it all up. Okay. All right. So he's gonna attack Thad with a 2 also.
Yeah, you were true to your character, Mike. That was
Oh no, a 3. So Thad's actually in extremely dire straits. 1 health left.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So number 3 is he's just gonna come down here. Number 4 is dead. Number 5 is going to move into this zone. And number 6 is going to go for me, because I am within range of a 1 move. So he's going to move up here. And he was number 6, right? Yeah, I messed up the 9 there. All right, so he was number 6. All right, so he moves up on me, and he's going to attack me with a 2. And that turns into a 1, so I have 5 health left. All right, now it's my turn. Yeah, Dave's exactly right. The buildings are on fire. All right, let's see what I can actually, if I can figure out a way to heal you, Thad. I was actually hoping that I could heal you, but... Okay, so I'm going to go... Go ahead, Mike.
James, real quick question. So you can pick either of the initiatives, right? It doesn't have to be the lower of the
Correct.
two?
Yep, your choice. Yep.
Okay, got it.
All right, so I'm going to go move to strengthen. 1, 2. And I'm going to strengthen, but I strengthen range 3. So I'm going to strengthen... Thad. Mike, what's your modifier deck like right now? What's in there? Anything bad?
He hasn't hit any of the big ones yet.
Your -2's out.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually gonna... Oh, you're already strengthened, Mike, right?
Can you double strengthen?
No, you can't. So I'm gonna... My first action, I move to strengthen range 3. Thad, I'm gonna strengthen you.
Okay.
So you're strong now, big boy. And now I am going to... 1 ally within range 3 may perform an attack 2, range 3. So I am going to have Mike. Mike, I'm going to have you do an attack 2, range 3 against the big boy.
Cool.
Actually, hold on. Can we kill somebody? Yeah, let's actually get this guy off the board. We can kill this guy, number 6.
Oh, yeah, he's within 3.
Let's prioritize getting a character off the board. So I would, do an attack 2, range 3 on 6. So you're beefed. So you get 2 cards. A +0 and a miss. So luckily, it's a +0. So you kill him. So number 6 is dead.
Sweet.
Yeah. Murdering these dudes.
Yeah,
I know.
Mike's racking up the kills here. Okay, so 2 guys are dead. Mike, your card gets reshuffled, and both of you guys are strengthened for next turn. So essentially now we should just try to hulk up and do as much damage as we can. Thad, I'll try to heal you. I have the ability to do so, but I don't know if I'll be able to go early enough to do it, unfortunately.
I'm getting out of dodge, so.
Okay. Okay, so I'm shuffling Mike. You guys can... Oh, well, we have no choice. These are the 2 cards we're all using. So hopefully everybody can go early. Or before the beasts.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. I'm going at 68.
24.
66.
66. Oh, late. You're going after them. All right. Mike's got plans over there. I like it. All right, Thad, go for it. What are you doing?
Okay, so first I'm going to do the immobilize action on the big baddie.
Okay.
and then
So he's
move.
immobilized.
I get to move 3, but I'm only gonna move 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna move 1, 2, and then I get a range 3, attack 3, which is +1, so attack 4 against the baddie.
Whoa. Oh, cool.
How'd you get a +1?
The strengthen.
Oh no, you just get advantage on strengthen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
Okay.
fine. All right, so you're gonna get advantage on that 3 at the baddie, right? All right, cool.
Yep. Come on.
Booyah! So it's
6
it's a
damage.
6. Oh, he had 7 health.
Finally,
Okay, well he's
something.
almost dead.
That's okay. He's immobilized too. That's a big bonus.
That was great.
All right, so okay, cool. Okay, so that is the only action. Oh no, Thad, that guy can get to you. Oh no, he can't. You got away. Okay, you're good.
Yeah. Nobody can get to me.
Yep. Okay, so oh my god, I just shuffled the cards somehow half face up, half face down. Like
If we
you
had
know what?
Dex implemented. we'd
Yeah,
have that
seriously, let's finish that thing
I
up,
know.
Mike. You and me.
Can somebody get Dex done already?
This is the reason why James doesn't know how to shuffle cards, so me and Mike have to get Dex functional.
We're prioritizing it.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm making a fool out of myself. Okay, cool. All right, so that took out the, or almost took out the gold boy, and it is the beast's turn. So number 1 will just lose his immobilize, because he won't do anything else. Number 2 is going to step up on Mike.
Oh, snap.
And we'll deal with him in a second. Number 3 is going to continue his long trek through the desert. And then number 5 is going to step up into this position. He can't get to Mike yet, but he's trying. Okay. All right, so that one guy's attacking you, Mike, with a 2.
Okay.
+0, so no big deal. 2 damage. You're down to 3 though, so you gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of our turn. Or no, I'm up. I think I go before you. What'd you say, Mike? I'm 68.
I am 66.
All right, you're up. What are you doing?
Okay, so this is number 2, right? And
Uh-huh.
what's he at for health? He's at 4.
Yep, 4 health. Yep,
Okie dokie. And I still have advantage, correct?
correct. Yep, this is the last turn. You'll get advantage.
Okay. Well, trying to think the best way to do this. I have a stun, but I don't know if it matters because I can just eliminate him almost assuredly.
Yeah, that might
So
be
I
that might
will-
be a waste against him. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do an attack 3
Okay.
and then an attack 1.
Cool. All right. So the first attack 3 is going at number 2, and you're beefed,
Yep.
so you get 2 cards. Okay, let's get something better than that. And 6 damage. Mike obliterates another guy into a pile of dust. So number 2 is dead. And all right, Mike. So now what's interesting for you is you actually can't use that attack 1. So
Nope, I'm stuck.
so this is where, like in a normal round, you could just say like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go move 2 now."
Move 2.
Yeah.
that would have been nice.
Yeah. So we won't do it during this scenario, but in a normal scenario, that's when you would have been able to do that. Okay. So Mike's turn is over. All right, my turn. Hey, baby. Oh, okay. Losing my mind here. I never put my cards up. These are my cards for this round. What am I doing? What on earth am I doing in this session? Okay, so Thad, I'm going to heal you. I'm going to heal 3, range 3. So you get 3 more health. So you're up to 4.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yep. And then my bottom now is 1 ally within range 3 may perform an attack 3, but if they do, they suffer 1 damage. So there's no one who can actually attack from their position. So I'm
I can.
No,
One, two, three.
No. It's an ally within range 3 would do a normal melee attack 3.
Oh, gotcha.
So nobody can actually use it. So I'm not gonna. Well, I'm just gonna. I cast it on you, Mike, but it's a May, so you can just say I'm not gonna do it. Officially, Mike's not gonna do it.
No thanks.
Okay, so now we hit our first card void. All right. So the way that it works is now you would lose a random card. If you do not like the card that you lose, you can keep suffering 1 damage to draw a different card randomly that does not include the one you lost that you liked. So if you happen to have a card you really love and you draw it randomly, you can take a damage to draw something else. It's up to you. Put these back, and then I'm going to flip over all these cards, drag them down, and I'm just going to choose... I don't know. Dave, give me a number between 1 and 6, Dave, if you're around. And we'll all just use it. We can blame Dave. Oh no, Mike, did you delete one? Oh no!
That's my random one. That's my random one.
Yeah, whatever it was is gone. Whatever it was is gone. For folks at home, we're making it harder to delete stuff also.
Yeah. That's the other thing we're working on.
So that's good. Okay. Well, that's your random one, Mike. So that one's gone. I'm just gonna drop this guy here. Let's see what it is. Oh, god damn, I like that card. How much health do I have? 5? I'm just gonna make do. I don't want to take a hit. And then we start over. We don't get any health back. Short rest doesn't give you any health. A long rest would give you health, but we're not long resting in this scenario. So let's decide what we're going to do. Beefy Boy only has 1 health, and the other 2 have 5 health each. Yeah, Dave says easy, your faces. That's exactly right. Like, I think probably the right emojis is just each of us making stupid faces. All right. I am just so far away from anything.
So these obstacles are still obviously there, right?
Correct. Yep.
And
Yeah,
they move 1 and attack 2, you said?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that barrage thing again, boys.
Just sort of
Early.
hit everybody for 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going pretty early?
Yep.
All right. This guy just has no attacks, which is really interesting. 23. All right, I'm going to go pretty... I'm going to go late. Oh, no. Never mind. Okay. All right. I'm going to go late. And I'm going to get some of the enemies to attack each other. That's my plan.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can take over their brains or something, I guess.
So how specific can you get it when you say this stuff? Like
What I tend to, my basic rule is like, you don't say the number. You know, you don't say I'm going at 22, you know, that sort of stuff. Like early, late, and kind of generally what you're trying to accomplish.
But okay, but like for like the special actions, do you say the actual name of the special action, or do you say like, oh, I'm gonna give him a thumping?
Usually the latter, you know, but like what's kind of funny is these rules go literally out the window when we're in like final room where it's like, okay, I'm stunning that guy, you need to put a bunch of damage on him type stuff. Minnesota Badger, good to see you, man. The haunt has started. It started on the first turn when we missed every attack that we took.
So tonight, Minnesota Badger, we're test playing Gloomhaven, which we're gonna do during virtual Gen Con.
Yeah, and our Gloomhaven session's actually sold out, but I think I'm going to run one during Gen Con for just Discord folks. So if people are interested in trying out Gen Con and being the ones who's kind of figuring out these cards and stuff, to keep an eye out in the Discord for joining in a game during Gen Con, so at the end of July.
Okay, I'm gonna go early and bash some more rocks.
There you go. Oh, good, good. I'm glad you're gonna destroy some more stuff.
Yeah, remove obstacles. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
That
All
slows
right.
the enemies down.
Dave, take care, man. Good to see you. I hope everything improves. See you later. Okay, so I'm going at 68. Where's everybody else going?
25.
Of course, you're a little fast guy.
20.
All right, Mike's even faster. He says I can do it one better. All right, Mike, you go. What are you doing?
Okay. So quick question. I can move 2 and then destroy an obstacle. I have to move 2 then destroy it, right? I can't move 1, destroy, and move again, correct?
I believe that is the case. Yes, you would have to move your 2 first, and then be done with your move before you destroy.
No problem. So I'm gonna move to 1, 2.
Okay, you're gonna destroy that top
And
obstacle.
destroy the top obstacle. Yep.
Oh man, you're gonna let those guys come right at you, huh?
Does he have
Yep.
to do the destroy?
No, he doesn't have to.
No, I don't have.
It's just in his blood to destroy.
You just get up and blow them up.
So wait,
I
you
feel it.
were you strength? You were done with strengthen. You were done with strength.
I was
Yeah, we
done.
both
And I'm
are.
back. I'm back to strengthen though. That's back. So.
Okay, yeah, because you destroyed an obstacle, so you're back. Okay, cool.
Oh, all right. So you need to blow stuff up to be strong.
Yeah.
All right, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. It makes me like frenzied. or
He's
something.
got to do all the beach muscles at the gym. He's got to do a lot of like bicep curls so he feels strong.
That's right.
If you look
it
at your
up.
character sheet, that is definitely right up that alley.
yeah,
right
really
there.
jacked. There's veins all over those buys. All right, Mike. So what are you gonna do?
And then I do a ranged attack with advantage on this guy right here.
All right, what is it? Attack what?
2.
All right, attack 2 with advantage on number 3.
We need a. Oh, I guess I can't kill him either way.
All right, so you hit him for 3.
Yep.
Okay.
He's down to what? 2.
You hit for 3. Yeah, you hit number 3 for 3, so he's down to 2. Yeah. Boom. All right, cool. Thad, I think you're up, man.
All right, so I'll go ahead and do my move first. It's a move 4, but I'm only gonna move 2. 1, 2.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do the disorienting barrage again, which is an attack 1, range 3, which gets all 3 of these guys.
Cool.
Whoa. Amazing.
Yep, you got them all, and you're gonna muddle them all too.
Yep.
All right, so who do you want to start with?
We'll go in order. 1, 3, 5.
All right, so here's the one on number 1. Wah, wah, wah. He's muddled at least.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so number.
Couldn't just dig him for 1.
Yeah, for number 3, he is. Sad trombone, man. All right, I almost said trombone. I never would have lived that down. Okay, and then number 5.
Do you have allergies? What the?
So 1 damage.
That's some crazy draws right
Some
there.
bad draws.
You know, this is like me playing D&D, and the Vorpal dice are screwing me. I mean, seriously, this is like me playing D&D right now. I'm playing a ranged character, and I can't hit anything.
Can't hit.
Can do
Cannot.
any damage.
Okay, so now the boys are gonna go. The boys are back in town, which,
Uh-oh.
let's see. Number 1 is just going to move 1 step towards us. Who's he closest to? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He's closest.
Hi.
Yeah, but Thad went earliest, so he goes towards Thad.
Oh.
And then this guy can get to you, so he's gonna go to
This is
you,
muddled.
and he's gonna attack. And then number 5 is going to head towards 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mike, you went first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can actually choose which way he goes because he's got 2 paths. I'm going to recommend we have him go here.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so number 3 is attacking you, Mike. It's an attack 2.
Disadvantage, though, right?
Disadvantage because he's muddled, thank God. Ho!
Yeah, it was totally worth it.
Yeah, at least my arrow did something.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I would have died.
Yeah, that would have been a 3 damage to Mike, which would have killed him, right? You kept,
Yeah, you saved me, buddy.
You kept Mike alive. That's good.
All right. See? Look, even though you blew up all the barricades and let the guys run right at me, I still saved your butt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I do.
Yeah, you gotta live your life, right? If you're
You gotta do you, Mike.
if you're some sort of
YOLO,
strange, made out of rock person that slams stuff, like, you gotta do it.
I don't know how they grab anything there.
Yeah,
Fists are made out of like bashers.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Okay, so that's
Pretty
lucky.
cool.
Thad's a little disorienting saved. Us, all the muddled guys are no longer muddled. And then I'm up. And let's see if I can do anything interesting, shall we?
Shall we?
I'm going to force one enemy within range 3. 1, 2, 3.
To attack another enemy?
Yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2 first. And then I'm going to strengthen Mike. Oh, no, Mike, you're already strengthened till... Oh, no, you're strengthened till next turn, right?
Yeah, I am.
All right, so Thad, you're strengthened.
Cool.
And then I'm going to force an enemy within range 3 to perform attack 3, targeting an enemy of your choice adjacent to them. So I'm going to try to have 5 kill 1. Although they're the same.
Yeah.
But they're the same.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the gold isn't actually more difficult. He doesn't do more damage.
So we actually want to kill 5.
We want to kill 5 because he has 2 health. Oh, no, he has 4 health.
Yeah, no, you'll kill 1.
Yeah.
I want to get 1 off the board. Getting off the board is more
might as well.
is worth
Yeah,
more than
take the
taking
sure thing.
damage. Yeah, so I'll have 5 attack 1 with a attack 3. All right, so it did 2 damage and number 1's dead.
Toast.
Thanks, buddy. Okay. Okay, so we're ready for next round. You guys are both strong. What's our health situation look? 4, 3, and 5. Okay. We gotta
So
put
just a quick
out...
question. All the
Yeah.
obstacles are gone, right?
No, there's an obstacle up here.
Oh, okay.
That's the last one. It's just a... Oh, and there's also one down here, but you're obviously not going to go for that one.
For something
I'm
like
just
blow
gonna
up.
run
Well, Mike's going to do like a move 6 in the wrong direction just to blow something up.
Yep.
So here's an interesting little bit about Gloomhaven that causes, I think, a lot of strife with parties and stuff. When you play the full game, and in Jaws of the Lion as well, you get a battle goal at the beginning of the game. You're dealt 2 cards, and it's a goal for you that session. And it might be something like kill X amount of people, or loot X amount of gold, or never short rest, or never long rest. Just like weird little challenges for you to do during the mission. And you get 2 cards, you have to choose one and discard the other one, and then it's private. You don't tell anybody else in the game. So everybody has their own little private battle goal. Now, sometimes it becomes very obvious that somebody is making personal decisions based on their battle goal that are not beneficial to the party. So it's dumb stuff like, oh, this guy definitely could have attacked, but instead he's running over to a corner to like loot gold or something. Because the battle goals are actually pretty valuable. They give you check marks that let you get perks on your character. So if you get the battle goals, you can make your character more powerful. So it's important to try to get them. But if you lose the mission, you don't get any of the experience bonuses for the mission and all that sort of stuff. So you do get situations where people start accusing each other. Like, hold up, man. Why are you doing that? Type stuff. So Yeah, it's good. I actually like that little wrinkle because it does make, it shows you who your true friends are, really. Okay, so what's everybody up to?
I'm going early.
Okay.
Kill.
Let's see.
I'm going
going
pre Jerkos, and I have a little bit of a flexibility in what I do. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm going first half.
Yeah, same first half.
Okay. All right, let's take these guys down. I mean, this might be the turn that we can actually ice them. So I'm going at 43. How's everybody else going?
35.
42.
All right, Thad, you're up. Yeah, you get to go first every time. This hatchet guy is quick.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to do the +1 to all of my attacks.
Nice.
And I'm going to do a ranged 3. So I'll go after number 5. And it's an attack 3. So it's an attack 4 this turn with advantage.
Hell yeah. Attack 4 with advantage going at number 5.
5.
Okay.
Come on.
Wow.
So you hit him for 4. He's dead.
Hey!
Okay, so number 5 is finito. Okay. All right, so Thad's turn's up. I think, Mike, you were a bit ahead of me, right? 39?
Yeah, I'm 42.
Oh, 42. Yeah, you're ahead of me. I'm 43. So go for it. What are you doing?
Well, mine was pretty versatile, so I'm actually going to change up what I was going to do. So I was going to move out of the way and then attack so the guy down here couldn't get me. But instead, I'm going to, and there's no reason to do this other than I have to do something. I can stun him.
Oh, just that on that bottom action there? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to stun him and then attack 3 with the muddle.
All right, so he's stunned. So an interesting tidbit is that I would be willing to guarantee you that card does not do that in the future. that free stun is like crazy powerful. So my guess is that free stun on the bottom there is what's called a loss action. So one of the things that are not in scenario 1 is some actions make you lose the card immediately. Right then, it goes into your loss. So they're very powerful, but the trade-off is that you lose them for the rest of the game. And my guess is that bottom stun.
For me, it wouldn't matter, but yeah.
Well, right, yeah, exactly. Right now is when you'd use it, right? You try to use it in the last couple turns when you just are in like a wild melee, essentially. So we're gonna stun him.
Mm-hmm.
But my guess is that, well, I mean, who knows? Isaac has definitely done some crazy stuff, but I can't imagine him making that a free action that you can keep doing over and over again. That would be wild. Okay, so he is stunned. And then what are you attacking him with, Mike? A 3?
3.
All right. Here it goes.
Come on, take him out.
With advantage, right?
Oh, you are with advantage, yep. So it's a 4, and he is
toast.
Blasted.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We did it! It looked really dicey at the end of turn 1, but...
It looked really dicey when Mike blew up the freaking barricade.
Well, when that barricade went down and like there were just 2 guys behind it, it's like,
coming right at me.
Cool. Okay, so that is
that
was
was
fun.
just the one square.
Yeah, no, I know.
Cool. All right, so that is scenario 1 of Gloomhaven. At this point, what we would do is we would read up here. There's like this conclusion text, right? So essentially, that's how the story progresses. I'd read some sort of like, oh, we want to get back to town, but we're really curious why these guys attacked us, and then it leads us down into some plot, right? And then I would put a sticker on the new board for where we would be able to go next, and then all the scenario book right here has all manner of scenarios in it. And then if we were playing a larger Gloomhaven campaign, like the full campaign, we would also have accrued experience while we were playing. And the way you accrue experience is not killing stuff. Your cards have experience values on them. So certain actions will give you experience. So it's like the cards you have right now don't show it yet because it hasn't introduced experience in scenario 1. But like there will be a card, essentially like I think it's like giving you a little bit of a nudge to say, here's kind of how your character class is supposed to be played, right? You want to use this action that has an experience a lot because you'll develop your character if you use it a lot. Mike, my guess is like your explosion stuff is probably going to give you experience. Like those type of actions will be the experience actions for
I had an inkling, that's why I was doing it.
Yeah. And so during the session, you keep track of how much experience you accrue just by doing actions. And then at the end of the session, you would like gain levels based on every character class has kind of a progression of their leveling up, which gives you more health and then gives you different cards into your deck. After one session, you're not going to level up. You're not going to get enough experience. After like 2 or 3 sessions, usually you get your first level, and then you kind of start building your deck up from there. And then the other thing that you get is gold. So you get a gold bonus for beating the mission. You get an experience bonus for beating the mission, I think. And then any gold pieces you picked up during the mission would now be in your inventory, and you can go back to town and spend that money. Buy items, all that sort of stuff. Game comes with like 100 items or something like that. And that's it. So then you would level up your guy. You put all your stuff back into its like specific tuck box in the box, and then as the levels go on, you start customizing your character in kind of weird and interesting ways. This game has a bunch of boxes that are sealed that you can't open. I don't know what they're for. I don't know if it's extra minis. I don't know what it is. The original Gloomhaven had a lot of different characters you could unlock. I don't know if that's how this one works. I've avoided spoilers, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. But it comes with only 4 character classes to start. So, and maybe there's more. I don't know.
Cool.
All right. How did it play, remote guys?
It was good.
It was good. I think your little dice edition helped a lot for visibility.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and just playability too. Like even if you were in person.
Oh God, yeah.
Exactly.
Like dealing with all these little damage tokens in person is awful. So I think for anybody who even plays it in person, I would really recommend playing that way or using the app. The Gloomhaven Helper app does not support Jaws of the Lion currently, to my knowledge. It wasn't ready for day one, so I don't know when it will be ready. But that's kind of a bummer that you can't use the Gloomhaven Helper app. Big advantages that I would say for folks who are watching this. Oh, it does. Sweet. Ekimlil216. Thank you. It does now. So that's I should have looked before tonight because I would have actually streamed the Gloomhaven Helper app into this. But we only had one enemy, so it was easy enough. One of the coolest things I think personally in Jaws of the Lion, it's just a personal preference, is that now that we're in this art book style instead of the tiles that snap together, you get art specific to the scenario. So you can see like there's train tracks in this one, where if you were playing normal Gloomhaven, you use essentially the same 30 tiles or whatever, and they kind of look like generic dungeon, generic outside kind of feel. The missions in the book, I'll just sort of flip the page to a random page here, can always look like, this one looks like it's obviously in a sewer, right? Well, Gloomhaven didn't come with any sewer tiles, so if anything was set in a sewer, it would just look like a generic, sort of dungeon, right? So like the cool thing about this is now every scenario can look unique to the story, which I think is a huge, in my opinion, improvement. Frosthaven is going to ship with tiles. But there is going to be an option to actually buy a book version of Frosthaven separately if you wanted to play it with the cool art. So I like it. I think this is better. Setup, I think, is better. Not having to have a huge box of tiles, which I have for Gloomhaven, I think is better. But you know what's crazy is it comes with a second book that sometimes you lay on top of the first book to make the maps bigger.
This one does, or Frosthaven does?
This one does. Yeah, there's a supplemental book that has like kind of like extensions of the maps. So sometimes the maps do get a little bit bigger than the 2 pages, but I think most fit on the 2 pages. So, but yeah, that's the first intro to Gloomhaven. It gets, that structure is how it plays. It gets more complicated because you have like, we didn't even talk about element generation. So there's a whole structure of you can generate elements that other people can consume. So my actions could create fire, and then Thad could actually like consume the fire later. And so there starts to become other synergies where your characters can create elements and consume elements for each other and stuff like that. we didn't even talk about that because that's not in scenario 1. But yeah, that's scenario 1. I'm going to start digging into this game a lot more. I've only played the first scenario a few times, but we are going to play it at Gen Con. And like I said, if you're interested in maybe trying it out in Vorpal, check us out on Discord. And I think that's it. I don't have anything else. I think that's it for tonight. You guys got any final words? Do we want to hype up anything for the Kickstarter? Any big
let's
news?
see.
Decks.
Decks are close. People want to date their decks. Like
Decks. There's like people chanting and they're stomping their feet and it's getting faster and it's getting louder and it's going Decks. Yeah, it's coming. We're very excited about it.
I know, I hear it.
It's always in Mike's head while he's sleeping.
Yes.
No, but it's very cool. And like a game like this, I think would benefit from it a lot, right? Because you guys could be drawing your own cards, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
that would have been nice. Yeah.
So we will, when it's ready, we will either revisit Gloomhaven and play it, or we'll play some other game that's deck related. You know, we play lots of stuff that's deck based. So
this has a lot of similarities to Imperial Assault, but I like the mechanic of being able to choose your actions in a certain order, and that adds an intelligence to it. I mean, that was the one thing Imperial Assault got really boring. After a while, it was just, okay, same actions every single time. Oh, I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I tend to agree that I like that you get presented with like a situation where you're like, oh crap, these guys are right on top of me. I need to figure out something with these cards that I have in front of me to like get me out of this situation. And it's not just I have 4 movement points and I have 2 attacks or, you know, whatever. It's a weird, you can try to do weird combinations. I totally agree. I think I would have a very hard time going back to just sort of a generic dungeon crawler like that because of this mechanic. I find this mechanic very intriguing and not as boring as, I don't want to say necessarily that Descent or Imperial Assault or those types of games are boring, but I kind of agree that this is more engaging.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get this wrong. Akeem Lil 216 said, it gets even better when you have lost cards, and that's exactly right, because the interesting thing about this game is... Oh, Michael. Okay, cool. Michael has it. But he's exactly right? Because this game is all about, like, the trade-offs of burning cards and when to, like, burn your really good abilities and put yourself in a more precarious position where you need to start, like, short resting instead of long resting. Where things get really interesting, and we didn't, unfortunately, get to make these types of decisions in Scenario 1, is, okay, I'm out of cards, or I have 1 card left. I either need to short rest or long rest. A long rest, you do that for your whole turn. You don't even get to any actions. You just long rest the whole turn. But a long rest gives you health back. So it's better to long rest if you want the health, but a short rest lets you keep playing. So you start getting into these risk and reward type situations of losing cards, which puts you in card debt, which then you have to start short resting all the time. Like it's extremely interesting. And then when you get into the final room or the final battle or whatever, I love it if you've done a really good job of efficiently managing your cards. Then you can just start playing all your lost cards. It's just like, let's go buck wild and throw all of our stuff at this guy to knock him out or whatever. It's cool. I think that the structure is very interesting, which, I mean, I'm probably preaching to the choir of anybody who's watching who knows about Gloomhaven, but yeah, I like it a lot. I recommend it. This package is, I think, $50 at Target.
Wow, the starter Target's still $50.
Yep, $50.
Well, but you're getting a lot. I mean,
oh, it's insane. The weight of the box when you get it, it's like kind of a joke where it's like, wait, I thought this was supposed to be like the really streamlined version of Gloomhaven. But yeah, it's $50, and then I don't actually know the total number of scenarios. I've kind of tried to avoid any sort of any spoilers, you know. But yeah, and then the Frosthaven is not coming till 2021, and then you can get your hands obviously on original Gloomhaven. But I think that this is a super cool package for streamlined, not having to worry about like unlocking a lot of different characters and stuff and retiring characters. Something you can play through. And then maybe you want to get into Gloomhaven, which is a much bigger commitment than Jaws of the Lion is.
I might pick this one up for the family.
Yeah, you know, my kids are a little bit young. Like, they're begging me to play it, and like my wife and I have said to them, like, I don't want to manage like 3 people's hands, you know, like it just won't be fun. I'm gonna wait until they're a little bit older, but I would really love to play this through with my family. It's just beyond my kids currently. So yeah, losing a health to pick a different random card to lose when short resting is an interesting decision point as well. Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot of instances. So like when you get to know your character, right, there might be a card that's just like you need it because you use it like all the time, right? You gain experience from it, and it's like your main damage card or main move card or whatever. When you short rest and you randomly choose it, having to burn health to not lose it is like the ultimate irritant. But it happens, right? Because like when you get down to 4 cards or something and you're short resting, the chance of you losing your favorite card is a lot higher. So yeah, it's great. I can't recommend it enough if you're looking for a dungeon crawl and you have kind of a party that you could get together regularly, and you could use Vorpal board to get together more regularly.
Yes, you can. This could be our weekly board game night.
Yeah, I would be in trouble, I think, if I was going to make this my weekly game online and not at the house.
Fat and I can do this one without you, James.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Mike, you want to play with our wives? What about that?
Right, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it's great. I'm really happy with it. I'm glad I picked up the slimmed down version. Michael says they play with Zoom right now. It's not a great experience. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, there are little bits in this game that it would just be really irritating to not be able to see. I could see playing like on just a purely video chat platform if everybody had their own cards, you know, so they were dealing with their own cards locally. But even that, I think it would be really hard to tell which monster is which and what everybody's health on the monsters is and all that sort of stuff. So we think that we with Vorpal, we'll be able to have people playing Gloomhaven. I think it's a great match. It's why we built it originally. So I think, you know, there are a lot of people who are trying to play this game in very crazy ways, and there's obviously digital implementations too, which will still be out there. But yeah, we hope that people will play it this way because I think it's especially for Jaws the Lion, I think it's really good because the board space is kind of small. When you play with full-on Gloomhaven, you got like tiles kind of all over the place, so there's more space on the board, so you got to kind of have a higher, you know, obviously like a higher view of everything. But you know, you can still play it. My wife and I play it that way a lot too. So cool. All right,
Nice.
guys.
Yeah,
Dad, any other final thoughts on your end, Todd?
No, this is a good time.
Cool.
I think the Gen Con folks are gonna have fun with it.
Yeah. So Gen Con, I'm curious to see what kind of, you know, level of experience they have with it. If it's a totally new crew, I'm a little bit nervous. Just about.
It's gonna take you 2 hours because they don't know Vorpal or the game.
Well, yeah, there's that, but I'm also nervous on the other side that it might be people who like have played a lot of Gloomhaven, and they're like, I'd like to see what Jaws of the Lion's all about, and they're gonna be like, wait, we're playing like the dumbed down version of it. Like, we're not playing the full game. We're playing the one that doesn't have all the other Gloomhaven stuff in it. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to gauge their experience level before I can tweak it a little bit. I could maybe turn on some more of the abilities and stuff. So we'll see. Michael, thank you. He says, love what you guys are doing. Can't wait to get my copy. I can't wait to send you your copy.
Yeah, no kidding. I can't wait. It's the end of September.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna take a week vacation and then very back at it.
But yeah. So that was Gloomhaven. Next week, I'm just gonna call it. We're gonna be here with Unmatched next week, and that's what we're gonna be playing. We might play a 2-man enter, 3-man enter, 1-man leaves round robin of Unmatched or something. We'll see. We'll figure out something we're gonna do with Unmatched next week. So that we do have an Unmatched tournament happening at Gen Con. So if you like Unmatched, check it out. Go to Gen Con, search for Vorpal or search for Unmatched. 16-player tournament. The winner will win a copy of Cobble and Fog, which just came out from Restoration. It's going to be fun.
Justin.
Yeah, thank you, Justin, from Restoration and the Restoration folks. It's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a fun experience. People will be able to move their own minis around, which is what you saw us doing today with Gloomhaven, and they'll be able to, you know, draw their own cards and all that stuff. So Michael, yes, we have played Horrified a bunch, actually, a few times.
A couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you
Check out our
wanted,
YouTube.
yeah, if you wanted to see how it played, yeah, I'm sure it's on YouTube and our Twitch stream. Yeah, we had a great time with that game. I think it played really well.
Yep.
And we had some epic moments. I think we had one round where we got absolutely blitzed. Like,
Yeah, have we ever won?
we won. I think we won. Yeah, I think we
There
did.
was one where we didn't have no one died.
No one
Like,
even
we were, like,
died.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That one that we just
Yes,
right through it.
and it had
Yeah.
it had the mummy in it too. We had a perfect run, and then some guy came on YouTube and was like, "I think you might have played it wrong," and I was like, "No!" But then he was wrong. So we actually were right. We had played it right. I was super nervous that we were gonna have to put an asterisk next to it, but yeah, I think Horrified's awesome. Horrified I think is a good option for this system as well, because you can scan in the little item tokens and all that sort of stuff. So we like Horrified.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good times, guys.
Yeah. See y'all next
That's it.
week.
Thanks for everybody hanging out.
Yep. Take care.